What's up everyone? My name's Mike, and today I'm going to be talking about my modified Squier J Mascis Jazzmaster. Even off the shelf, this thing sounded really amazing. I was really floored by the way that this thing sounded. Right now I'm playing with the neck pickup and the full Nazgûl by Seymour Duncan humbucker. This is really my favorite humbucker, I think, ever. I've gone through quite a few humbuckers in my time, and I've really just landed on the Nazgûl as like my formula for guitars. This is my second one that I've installed in a guitar. I plan to do it again down the line. I'll talk about some other pickups that I've used in a different video. It pretty much ranges from Gibson burstbuckers, Duncan JBs, Duncan distortions. You know what? Maybe I'll even do a pickup comparison one day. You know, compare like a bunch of bridge pickups and then do a video on a bunch of neck pickups. Let me know if that's something you're interested in the comments below. Yeah, really the only thing off the shelf I didn't like super jive with was the bridge pickup. I know that they look like they're Jazzmaster pickups, but they're really P90s, kind of in like a Jazzmaster shell. Basically, they're like a little bit hotter, a little bit fatter, and it just really wasn't something I was going for in the bridge position. I just needed something that'd be a little bit more like... Yeah, just something a little bit more like tight and like mid-focused, less like low and scooped, you know? That was not what I was going for in a guitar. Really, ever, that's not what I go for in a bridge pickup. You'll find that that's kind of the consistency on this channel. You know, everything from, you know, the PAFs to the Pro Buckers and the Epiphones, I really just kind of like... get those out of here. Actually, you know what? The only like scooped pickups I really like are neck pickups. And I like them for clean channel stuff, you know, like... Yeah. What do you think of that clean tone, by the way? What I did here was I went and I added this retro reel, a little bit of saturation, bring that in. And then I took my jazz chorus that I typically model for my clean channel, and I dialed up the gain quite a bit, brought down the master. This channel is like bumped to the max, so I'm getting a little bit of that clipped distortion. Not that much. Yeah, I'm liking the way it sounds. Actually, you know what? I don't think I've shared like a clean guitar tone yet on here. I'm gonna have to do a video on clean guitar tones. This is obviously a little bit more of like a saturated clean guitar tone, so maybe I'll do something that's a little bit more like crisp in another video. But in this video, I wanted something a little bit more like wet, for lack of a better word. And honestly, I might go with something like that in the near future for like my live tone, just because, I don't know, I find it to be a little bit more fun to play myself. I don't know, but that's another video for another day. Let's get into the mods. Oh my god, I've been making a mod video and I haven't even gotten into the mods. I'm gonna make a timestamp below. So basically, what I did with this guitar is, obviously, I went and I did black hardware. Over here you had all this black, and it was all chrome, and then there was like a cream originally, and then cream pickup covers. So I went and bought all parts pickup covers, and originally I was going to do a cutout of the all parts pickup cover for like Jazzmasters, and I just went like, and I just took a knife and it was really janky, and honestly it looked really janky. It didn't look very clean. So what I did was I sourced one of these Seymour Duncan Trembucker pickup covers, and the Nazgûl Rails actually fits into the Trembucker pickup cover. Say that 10 times fast. Anyway, yeah, so the Nazgûl fits into the Trembucker pickup cover. Shit. And from there, I was able to get this mounted just using a drill. Be very, very careful doing this mod, because if you're not careful, you will puncture the back. I did not puncture the back of my guitar, so do not worry about that. The way that I avoided this was I took the existing screws that were in the original Jazzmaster placement and I marked with masking tape where they were coming out for the actual Jazzmaster pickup. That way I knew the maximum of how much I could drill into the body. And then from there, that's how I started getting everything all wound up in there. I know that's kind of like a weird story because some people sell solutions on Etsy and they only came in chrome. If they came in black, maybe I would have considered it, but they only came in chrome. And as is, I'm not crazy about the clashing chrome on gold metal thing, but I think in this minimal standpoint and where it's like just on the bottom and over here, and then on the top it's like just gold and black, I kind of dig it. But you know, down the line I might change it to all gold, and then just black, like gold black all the way through, and then maybe even like gold vintage tuners. Maybe one day I'll source gold vintage tuners, but these are just the Squier off-the-shelf tuners, and they're frankly kind of impressive, though I do find them to be a little bit inconsistent. I own a Classic Vibe behind me, and those tuners, they're good, but not quite as good as these. They're a little bit more inconsistent. These are good though. Anyway, let's get into the next part of the mod. We have the pickups. The neck pickup obviously diverts to this rhythm circuit, but we're not going to talk about this. This is completely unchanged, though I do quickly want to note that they are 50K alpha pots. They sound really, really good. Typically I use it as a kill switch though, so like... But it does do the rhythm circuit thing really well. Anyway, rhythm circuit, and then we go into the toggle switch right here. This is the stock toggle switch. All I did was take the plastic black switch tip that was on my ESP LTD EX50. As you can see in Logic here, I have plans to make a video on it. I don't know why it's panned far right. That shouldn't be panned far right. Anyway, yeah, so expect a video on that soon. I'm doing my J Mascis right now, my Classic Vibe, and my Squier Bullet. But anyway, toggle switch goes into these pots. Now, off the shelf, these are alpha 1 meg pots, and they sound really, really good. The only reason why I switched them was because I wanted my humbucker, my Nazgûl, to sound like my Nazgûl in my Epiphone Les Paul Custom that I modded, and I use like all the time. I absolutely love that guitar, so I wanted them to sound as similar as I could possibly get them. So I swapped them out for CTS 50K pots. The tone knob is a Fender branded CTS pot, and this is just like a CTS pot that I got on Amazon. It is a toggle switch, so I got a single coil, and then here's your humbucker. Yeah. So I guess this is a good time to just kind of run through all the tones, huh? So this is clean on a humbucker bridge. Single coil bridge. Middle position, single coil in the bridge. Middle position humbucker in the bridge. Neck pickup by itself. This is the stock one. And now let's get to that rhythm circuit, little wild card. I do really enjoy the rhythm circuit. That is fun. Maybe I'll incorporate that a little bit more. Aside from that though, those are like the major electronic mods that I made to it. The output jack is the stock output jack. It's actually a really good output jack. I have had 0 issues with it so far. And the neck, I did something that may be controversial to the neck. I stained the fretboard with Minwax Ebony Stain. And I did this extremely carefully by starting with a razor blade. You gently scrape the frets, make sure to keep the neck radius intact, and you apply it evenly, leave it on for like 15 minutes. And yeah, you get this like nice, beautiful, dark, rosewoody color. And I think the reason why I did it was because I loved the look of this guitar. And by the time I got all the hardware and everything on here that I wanted with like the black, I was like, this neck needs to be darker. The Indian laurel that comes on like Epiphones and Squiers, it has its own like weird, ugly characteristic, kind of like Poffero on Fenders. It just looks a little weird, you know, like something's off about it. So I find that, you know, I wasn't really going for like the ebony look, like the dark black. I just wanted something to be a little bit more worn. However, if you own a J Mascis Jazzmaster, I'm going to warn you, this is a very risky thing. You need to take this neck off completely, and you need to very thoroughly tape the ends of your neck, because this like nice satiny finish that they got on this neck, it will suck up that stain extremely quickly. The only place where I actually had that happen, let's see if I can get this to show up on camera here, in the neck heel, like right in here, there's like a small little black dot where I messed up and I just didn't tape quite thoroughly enough. Maybe it was coming unstuck or something, because like I thought I was doing it pretty thoroughly, but apparently not thoroughly enough. And yeah, I mean, luckily it's not noticeable when I'm playing. It's not noticeable when it's hanging on a wall or doing anything. It's really only noticeable when you're like going, oh, that's a funny spot right there. So, you know, whatever. That issue with the neck, that is not something that's existent in the classic vibe, or really anything with like a glossy neck. The stain will just rub right off of that and it won't be a problem at all. But yeah, if you have like a satin neck or something like that, or like a nitro, you're gonna have to be a lot more careful. So yeah, that's my controversial mod to this guitar. I mean, as is, I know that like throwing and drilling in a humbucker is a little bit controversial by itself, but yeah, I just had to put a little cherry on top, you know. This guitar has already had quite a bit of love to it. I've got a little crack in the back, a dent up here from doing some adjustments. You know, that's just gonna happen to guitars. Guitars are gonna be played, guitars are gonna be messed with. That's just kind of how it goes. So that is my Squier J Mascis Signature Jazzmaster. I love this thing. I'd recommend it to anybody. It's a little bit expensive for a modding platform. I'd recommend getting it used if you plan to mod it, unlike me. Alternatively, go with a classic vibe used, or you know what? Actually, I'm gonna save that for the classic vibe video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a little bit on my PV Blue channel tone, and that tone I'll link in the description down below. Actually, I have a tone dial-up video where I walk through basically this tone, but without all the delay, chorus, and Roland Jazz Chorus amps. So it's basically just compressor, distortion, amp, cab. Okay, anyway. All right, I'll see you in the next video. See ya.